Dear students, welcome to the science class. So in the last class we were discussing about some natural phenomena topic. In that topic we discussed about the lightning as well as we discussed about the earthquake. So what is earthquake? How the earthquake are going to cause? How does the earthquakes are occurring? We discussed those things in the last class, right? And so in today's class we are going to discuss further about those earthquakes. So we already know that earthquakes are going to happen because of the movement of the tectonic plates which are present in the earth crust. Right, on the earth crust there is a plate which are present. Due to the movement of those plates, there is earthquake is going to happen. So we already know that it is not possible to predict the earthquake. Right, if it is not possible to predict the earthquake, then how can we say that the earthquake is going to occur in some area? Right, we already know that. Then the earthquake is happening because of the movement of the plates. Then nothing but one plate is going to go under the another plate. Then the earthquake is going to happen. In the same manner, if the two plates are going to crash or they brush aside each other, then also the earthquake is going to happen. So we can say that mostly the area which are present at the plate region, those areas are going to suffer more amount of earthquakes. More amount of earthquakes. So if you take the earth crust like this. So this is the area. It is not a small area. It will be very larger. The plates will be very bigger, and the size of the plates will be larger. It may contain one continent, or it may contain one whole country, or it may contain one whole state. So that plates are that much larger. So if we take that plates, if two plates we take, one plate are brushing aside each other. Two plates are brushing aside each other, or we can say that one plate is go under the other plate. So if you see here, whatever the region which is coming at the edges of these plates, at the edges of these plates or boundary of those plates, those edges are nothing but they are known as weak zones. They are known as weak zones. So whatever the area which is going to present, those are going to come at this region, at the boundaries of the plate. Those regions are nothing but what? Those are the weak zones. Why those are the weak zones? So the maximum amount of earthquake or disturbance which is going to happen at this point only. If the disturbance is going to happen at this point, that means the vibration, that is nothing but the eruption of the earthquake is going to happen at this point. So whatever the area which is going to come at this point is nothing but weak zones. Weak zones are another name for this thing is nothing but it is the fault zone, known as fault zone. Or another name is there, it is nothing but seismic zone. Seismic zone. Weak zone, fault zone, and seismic zones are everything is same. Fault zone is nothing but it is going to give more amount of damage. Or seismic zone is nothing but because of the whatever the waves which are coming, whatever the tremors which are coming, those are nothing but those are coming in the form of the seismic waves. So that reason is known as seismic zone. Right, those areas which are coming in the plate region at the boundary of the plate region, those are nothing but the seismic zones or weak zones. So that type of areas which are present in India are nothing but seismic zones are in India are Kashmir. So there is the boundary or plate boundary is there in the Kashmir. Because of that reason, Kashmir is becoming the seismic zone. In the same manner, Western and Central Himalaya. Western and Central Himalayas are also the seismic zones in India, so that they are the maximum probability of getting the earthquake. In the same manner, the whole northeast and the run of the that is present in the Rajasthan. Run of the Kutch is present in the Gujarat and Rajasthan. Again, the Rajasthan is going to come in the seismic zone. Indo-Gangetic Plain. So the whatever the area which is covered by the Ganga river around that area, Gangetic Plain, that plain also, Gangetic Plain also, it is also known as the seismic zone in India. It is also one of the seismic zones in India. So what is the main reason for the becoming the seismic zones of India? So the plate boundary which is taking in India it is there at these regions. For that reason, they are becoming the seismic zones, as well as for the formation of the Himalayas also. It is the plate. These plates are the main reason. So when these plates are moved from one point to another point, when it came in contact with the whatever the boundary which is present at the Himalaya region, when they come in the contact with the Himalaya region, whatever the soil which is present, it is erupted in the upward direction. When it is erupted, then the formation of the Himalaya takes place. So because of them, Himalaya is also one of the major seismic zones in India. Alright, so this is about the seismic zone of India. Now, we already discussed about that earthquake is unpredictable, earthquake is like that, so on. We discussed about that earthquake. So how we are going to identify the magnitude of the earthquake? So what will be the power of the earthquake? In which manner we are going to identify that earthquake is going to damage this much, earthquake is going to damage this much strong is the earthquake. So we are having another scale to measure the power of the earthquake. That scale is nothing but what? It is the Richter scale. It is nothing but what? Richter scale. By using the Richter scale, we can identify the power of the or intensity of the earthquake. Right. So Richter scale is nothing but what? It is the measuring of power of the earthquake. Measurement of the power of the earthquake. By using the Richter scale, we are going to measure the power of the earthquake. And Richter scale is a logarithmic scale. So about that logarithm, we are going to study in the upper sections. It is a logarithm scale. By using the logarithms, we are going to measure the power of the earthquake. It is high magnitude earthquake or it is low magnitude earthquake. So the Richter scale ranges from 1 to 10 units. It ranges from 1 to 10 units. It has 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit, 4 unit, 5 unit, 6 unit, 7 unit, 8 unit, and 9 and 10 units. So if the Richter scale shows the magnitude of the 7, if it shows magnitude of 7, then we can say that the earthquake is severe one. It is going to give more damage. If the magnitude of the earthquake in the Richter scale shows 7, then we can say that it is high magnitude earthquake. That is nothing but it is going to provide more amount of damage. Right? About that, if the magnitude is 8, it is also a very large earthquake. 9, it is very large. So this if you take the 7 as a unit, 7, then the 7 is going to give more damage. Above the 7 value, the more will be the damage. Below the 7 value, the less will be the damage from that earthquake. Right. So we already discussed about 2 earthquakes which is happening in India. That is nothing but one is the Bhuj in Gujarat, another one is in Jammu and Kashmir. Right. That Bhuj and Jammu and Kashmir earthquake has the magnitude more than 7.5 units. So that is the magnitude of more than 7.5 units. Because of that, those are the 2 earthquakes which have the high magnitude, which gives the more amount of disaster, or we can say that more amount of problematics. Right, more amount of problems it is created and more amount of damage it is created. That is nothing but Bhuj earthquake which is happening in the Gujarat as well as in Jammu and Kashmir. So this is about the Richter scale. So you can ask me that how can we are going to measure that the magnitude of the earthquake like this. Now some scale is there so that we are going to measure the magnitude of the earthquake. But how? Some data should be there for the calculation. Now directly saying that it is 7.5 magnitude of earthquake is going to happen. So some data should be there to calculate those things. So how they are going to collect that data? How that data can be collected, by using which parameters? So we are going to see that thing. Before that, we should understand about the earthquake again. Now let us take this. We know that earthquake is going to happen in the crust region. So let us take a crust region here. This is the crust region of the earth. So the tectonic plates are moving in this crust region and disturbance is happening at this point. At this point. So here the movement of the tectonic plate, because of the tectonic plate, the vibration is happening here. Right? This vibration is happening point, the main point which is happening here, this point is known as epicenter. It is known as epicenter. So this is the center from where the earthquake started, the disturbance started. Right? In the same way, if you take here, it is not the epicenter, it is the focus again. It is known as focus. It is not the epicenter, it is the focus. From where the earthquake started. So this is known as in the upward direction, it is known as epicenter. Epicenter. So if the in here in this region, if the disturbances happen, what will happen? It is going to form some waves. In the form of waves, it is going to give the tremors. So if you see here, this type of wave is going to happen like this around it. Around this again waves are going to come. Around this again waves are going to come. Around this again waves are going to come. Because of these waves, the vibrations are going to happen. So whatever the waves that are coming here, these waves are known as seismic waves. These waves are known as seismic waves. Right. If you take the example of the water here, wherever you are going to throw the stone, that part is nothing but what? It is known as epicenter as well as focus. So whenever you are going to throw a ball here or some stone inside the water, this water is going to form the waves. When you throw the stone inside it. So those waves are nothing but what? Those are the seismic waves. In case of water, it is the water wave, but in case of this thing, it is the seismic wave. So because of the disturbance of the focus, there is the formation of the seismic wave. They are going to spread across that area. Spread across that area. Again, they are going to spread across here, like this. The main center will be at the perpendicular direction. So again, here it is going to give more amount of waves. So because of that wave, continuous formation of the wave, there will be disturbance of the earth surface. Because of that earth surface disturbance, there is the formation of the earthquake. Right, on the earth surface, there is the formation of the earthquake. So like this, the earthquake happens like this, continuous tremors or continuous shaking of the earth is going to happen. So to measure that thing, to measure those things, we have another graphical representation, that is nothing but seismograph. That is nothing but seismograph. By using seismograph, we are going to identify some values, some parameters. It can be used for the purpose of calculating the magnitude of the earthquake. Now let us take the example of my body. So I am standing statically. I am putting my chalk on the board. I am standing statically. So nothing is happening on the board. Right? In the same manner, if this happens, that is nothing but if the earthquake happens inside the crust of the earth. So the earth starts to vibrate. The earth starts to vibrate. Along with that, I am starts to vibrate. Also, I am going to vibrate. If I am vibrating in same manner, my hand is also going to vibrate. Right? My hand is also going to vibrate. If my hand starts to vibrate, what will happen? This chalk will start to moving in this direction like this. Right? So you see here, if the more the vibration, more will be like this. If the less the vibration, this is going to go reduce. In the same manner, if there is no vibration, it is going to go in the static region. Static region. So if you see here, if the magnitude of the earthquake is more, we are going to get this type of graph. If the magnitude of the earthquake is less, we are going to get this type of graph. If there is no earthquake is happening, if there is no shaking of the earth is happening, then we are going to get this type of graph. So in the same manner, what I am going to say here, what I am saying here, in the same manner, they are made a seismograph. They made a seismograph and they made a setup of the seismograph. So in that seismograph, they have a stand. They have a stand. To that stand, they kept a string here. They suspended a string. Onto that string, they have a bob. That is nothing but a bob, metallic bob. On that metallic bob, they kept a stylus. They kept a stylus, that is nothing but it is a pen. So we have to mark the graph. We have to draw the graph. For that reason, I am taking shortcuts in the same manner. When this thing, that is nothing but earthquake happens, there should be something to draw those parameters, draw those patterns of that reason. A simple pendulum-like structure, that is nothing but a bob is kept. That bob is stylus, that is nothing but a pen is kept, so that it is going to draw something. On which we have a rotating body. Here a rotating body. On that rotating body, a plain paper is kept. White paper is kept. Like this. So this is the rotating drum. So this is the rotating drum. This is the stand. This is the spring or spring, and this is the ball, or you can say at ball. And this is the stylus. Stylus is nothing but it is a pen. Right? Stylus is nothing but a pen. So this spring is what it is going to do here. When the earth starts to vibrate, when seismic waves are starts to come, those seismic waves what will they do? They do the vibration of these bodies. And this rotating drum is continuously rotating with the paper. It is continuously rotating with that paper. If this starts vibrating, so the earth starts vibrating, what will happen? This thing starts to vibrating. In the same manner, this ball also starts making the to and fro motion. If it starts to make to and fro motion like this paper is rotating due to the rotating drum. On that rotating drum, it is continuously going to draw this type of diagram or graph. Right? If the earth starts to shake, if there is no shaking of the earth, the line should be like this. Since it is not going to, if the earth is not vibrating, this is not going to do in shaking, it is also not going to shake. So it is continuously rotating, but this thing is going to continuously give a straight line only. If it starts to motion, if the earthquakes happen, if they start to rotate or they start to vibrate, these things also starts to vibrate in the to and fro motion direction along with the stylus, so that this stylus is going to draw the graph like this. If this type of graph starts to come, then we can say that there is the earthquake is happening. There is the earthquake is happening. In the same manner, that those things can be taken for the making of the Richter scale. So that by using this thing we can identify the magnitude of the earthquake by using this center. So this is nothing but this seismograph. So we can also make this seismograph by using this type of setup only to identify the happening of the earthquake, or if the earthquake is happening or not, as well as we have to see about the magnitude of the earthquake like this. So next we are going to see about the safety measures of the, what are the safety measures we are going to take for the earthquake. Now we already know that the earthquake is more damaging, it is going to make more loss of property, in the same manner more loss of the humankind or animal or more of the damage for the lives. So we have to protect ourselves from the earthquake. So if you know here, the more protection is required for the seismic zones, areas which come in the seismic zones, so that there will be more amount of earthquake is going to happen. So that the houses, the buildings, whatever they are going to build there, they should be have the main precautionary measures should be taken there. We already know that if the earthquake is happening, there will be shaking. Because of the shaking, the houses are going to get damaged and they are going to fall. So if they are going to fall, what will happen? If you keep the heavy objects on those houses, if you take the equipment or materials, building up that home or house, or building up a building, if we take the heavy objects, heavy materials, if they fall on the earth, on the human beings, on the animal beings, they are going to make more damage. They are going to make more damage, and there will be more loss of the property. For that reason, whenever a building should be built in a seismic zone, it should contain lighter particles, lighter materials. So when the earthquake happens, they shouldn't make more damage, and when they fall on something or some person, that person shouldn't suffocate or shouldn't experience more damage to him. For that reason, in those seismic zones, those precautionary measures should be taken. So for that reason, architects and structural engineers are there, so that we can take the information, we can, before building any home or house in the seismic zones, we can take the information, we take the help of the architects as well as the structural engineers while building the homes there. So those homes should be quite safe. Their building should be quite safe. So they should be safe from the earthquake. Right. In the same way, we know that earthquake is unpredictable. We don't know that when does the earthquake is going to happen, when does the earthquake is going to come. So if I am standing here, I don't know that earthquake is going to come now, or if when it's going to come. If the earthquake starts now only, if I am present inside the school or inside the home, what I am going to do here, what I have to take a precaution measure here, the whatever the objects which are present on the house, it may fall on me, or the roof of that house or the roof of the school can fall on me when the earthquake starts. So what we can do here, we should protect from those falling objects. For that reason, what should I do? I am going to sit below the chair. Sit below the table. So whatever the thing which is going to fall on the ground, it is going to fall on the table only, not falling on me. So that it can be taken as one of the safety measures in home. Right. Second safety measure. Now whatever they on the walls, everything if you take, if our area comes into the seismic zones, whatever the things we are going to hang on the wall, they should be lighter. The weight of those things should be lighter. If they fall on something, if they fall on us, they shouldn't give more damage to us. For that reason, they should be lighter one, not the heavier one. So these are the two precautions we may take to safeguard from the take the safeguard from the earthquake. In the same manner, if earthquake happens, if it is a daytime, we should go to the open space from home. If I were staying in the home, if the earthquake starts, as early as possible, we should go outside from the home so that anything shouldn't fall on us. So we are safer in the outside than the inside when earthquake happens. Right. So those are the three measures. What are those measures? Take shelter under a table and stay there till the shaking stops. Though this is the first precaution. Second precaution, stay away from the tall and heavy objects that may fall on you. We have to stay away from the tall and heavy objects so that they can fall on us. We have to protect from those things. So we should stay away from those things. The third thing, if you are in bed, earthquake starts, what we have to do? We have to take the pillows which are there and we have to protect our head from that pillow. So our head should be covered with the pillow completely. So if the objects are falling from the top at the time of the earthquake, they shouldn't damage our head. So if our head is get damaged, our brain is going to get damaged. If our brain is get damaged, we are going to die. For that reason, we should take the precautionary measure. While sleeping on the bed, we should take the pillows and we should cover our head with the pillows. So in the same manner, if you are present in the outside from the home, find a clear spot. Clear spot, that is nothing but it should be free from the trees, it should be free from the building, there will be no building. It should be open ground. If you take the example of the cricket ground is open only. So you can take that type of area for the safeguard from the earthquake when you are outdoor. If you are present in the vehicle, that is nothing but if you are present in the car or bus, you should stay in the car and bus only. Or you can take the shelter below the chairs of the car or bus if it is continuously shaking. Or you can ask your driver or that bus driver to take the bus to a safest place, that is nothing but in a open space, so that in that open space you can come down from the car or that bus and go in the open space so that there is no object should fall on you. For that reason, you should go to the open space. So these are the few precaution measures we can take while earthquake is happening. So here your topic named as some natural phenomena is completed. In this topic we discussed about the lightning as well as we discussed about the earthquake. So in the next class we are going to discuss about the exercise questions which are going to come in this topic. So up to that point, thank you, take care, stay well, stay home. So I hope everything is clear about this topic.